Hi everyone, and this is another episode of Design with me, and today we're going to be designing a packaging for a skincare brand. My name is Maria Toka, I'm a freelance graphic designer, and lately I've been really into packaging design, and after designing Labubu, the packaging, I decided to go for something a bit more fundamental, something that everybody uses, and skincare seemed to me like a pretty obvious choice. So why not try it today? I think it has a lot of room for creativity, especially if you want something colorful, but not necessarily. It's just me who wants something colorful today. This time I'm not going to be redesigning anything. I'm going to be designing a new brand from scratch. But I'm not going to be focusing so much on the branding process, like meticulously designing a logo and all the brand assets. I'm going to be focusing on the packaging box and the tube for the product itself. But maybe later I'll develop it into the full-scale branding project, and possibly I will design more packagings for this skincare line. So we'll see where this will lead me. So wish me good luck, and without further ado, let's get started. Modern, bold and playful. Yeah, maybe slightly playful. Okay, it just gave me one brief. Skincare packaging. It's not exactly what I need. I need 30 options and names for each one. Okay. Which one's better? Bloomish, humid, packaging brief, feature. But this is not enough, just hydration focused. This is not enough as a unique selling proposition like most skincare products, skincare brands are supposed to hydrate your skin. It's not something that make them stand out. So I would like ChatGPT to come up with something a bit more unique about each brand. Something like core values, unique vision, philosophy. So yeah, this is a new, updated version. Core values, natural rhythm and body awareness, empowerment and education, hydration. That's a bit weak. A rest as a beauty. I really like that. Yeah. Maybe not this time, because this time I want something a bit more colorful and energizing. And this is more for a very calm vibe. So maybe next time. Jelly Club. Sounds fun. Skincare should be tactile and fun. I think I could use a lot of textures in it. So let's see. Sensory joy. Sounds interesting. Efficiency. Giggle skin sounds similar to that Jelly Club. Yeah. Skincare is not that deep. Daily joy equals daily beauty. I also love that. Yeah, I like the idea of citrus-based lemons as a visual element. That could be really cool. Not only lemon, other citruses as well. Softness. They all sound really interesting. Like, I would like to design probably like 5 or 10 of these briefs. But for today, I think I'm gonna go with zested. Skincare that tingles, wakes you up and feels alive. Alright, so this is for like morning skincare routine and feeling energized. And now I'm gonna head to Pinterest and collect all the vibrant and neon colored bright images for a mood board for this brand. And after I spend a few hours there, I'm gonna get back and show you my mood board. Okay, as you can see, this is my mood board. It's very, very colorful and playful. That's quite a challenge for me, to be honest. That's not something I typically do. I'm not really comfortable with bright colors. I tend to tone everything down, make it more muted and monochrome, like close to black and white, but not exactly black and white. But I've always been fascinated by these type of colorful designs. Especially I want to include yellows, probably pinks, because they both look really cheerful together. And I also like this sort of color contrasts like gray and neon red. I don't know if red can be neon, but you see this like very acid, bright color, which looks much brighter next to this type of grey, which is not different in its tone, but it's so much different in the color. So yeah, I would love to do something like that. I'm a fan of custom typography, like in this case, honey. So I would try creating something that looks like it's hand-drawn, and I'll probably customize a font which looks handwritten, but we'll see. Maybe I'll find something else. It definitely has to be something decorative and playful. Some other options that I really like this image is really high contrast. I love those acid color combinations. There's just so much power in it, so much energy, which is exactly what I need for this brand. It has to be very energizing. But at the same time, I realized that I shouldn't overdo it because it's a skincare brand and it shouldn't look like it's a food packaging, which is allowed to be more loud and screaming at you than skincare. Skincare has to be a bit more practical and readable and stuff like that. So I need to keep that in mind. So yeah, this is the general vibe I'm going for. I don't think I'm going to use all of these colors, probably 2 or 3. But later, maybe when I develop the series of packagings for this brand, I would add more colors. But the key feature is the contrast. And another thing that I absolutely love, another idea, is to make 2 sides of the packaging connected and forming one image. Like in this case, I love this, which makes us look at this packaging like a 3-dimensional thing. I think that would help it stand out right away, because that's quite a rare thing. I don't really see it in the shops. That would really help this brand appear more creative and to be more memorable. Alright, so I guess we should get started. And I'm gonna create a new document. Okay, so I just created a new document, and now I realized that I need more than one side because I want them to be connected, like the main side and the one to the right from it, just like on the mood board here. So I need to extend this to the right, which is why I duplicated this layer. So I shifted this layer, and now I'm going to crop tool and I'm gonna expand. Actually, I don't need this guide. Okay, and I asked ChatGPT to tell me the exact text, what exactly I need to write on all sides of the box. So let's just copy and paste all the text that it gave me. It's an interesting font choice. I don't know why it was the default. Balance, I guess it's the type of skin. Daily moisturizer, it's what it is. I hate seeing products which don't say what that is. Like, there's a lot of adjectives and descriptions, what it does and how good it is for your skin, but what it is, it never says. Only the name of the brand. Like, how am I supposed to guess? Is it a shampoo? Is it a conditioner? Is it a serum, cream, toner, or I don't know, a scrub? It can be anything, but we always need to mention it. Okay, and all the other sides I'll probably add it later. Another thing, I wanted to add lemons here. I really like that airbrush effect. I'll try to show you what I mean. Okay, so I added a few lemons. So I want them to be pretty flat and abstract, modern type of illustration. And yeah, I'll add that grainy effect a little bit later. I just need to find like the right composition right now, and the frame that I would like to have a frame. Something like this. Oh, not exactly. Okay, I'm gonna use the pen tool. Like now, it's just a draft, so don't judge my drawings. Yeah, something like this. And I don't know what color should be the frame. Something, but inside I want it to be like a gradient. Yeah, something like that. Really vibrant colors, as you can see. Maybe that's a bit too much for me. I already feel like it's too much, but okay. So now one of the most important parts is to choose the right font for Zested, and I don't really like why it's all caps. That's how ChatGPT likes to do it. This is an interesting font for a title, but it looks weird for the rest of the text, so I'm just gonna change it to something much simpler. It doesn't really matter, like something that's not that distracting. Oh, this one's really nice. Okay, but I wanted something a bit more hand-drawn and more modern, or handwritten, it would be better to say. Okay, so I'm just gonna scroll. I really like this one. I really like. Very playful and at the same time hand-drawn, this DIY aesthetic, really nice. I also don't mind this kind of font, but I don't like that it's italic. I mean, in this particular case, I'm not sure if I need italic, but anyways, it's too thin. I think I would like something much thicker just for a title. So yeah, something like this, but a bit less perfect than this. Yeah, maybe something similar to this one would be nice. This one looks really cool and natural, like handwriting, but I think it's pretty hard to read it, isn't it? I don't know, like this S doesn't look exactly like S. I don't know, especially from afar. That might be confusing. This is nice, but it looks kind of 2015 when this sort of calligraphy was, I would even say lettering, was really on trend, so probably not exactly what I want. I guess I'm gonna go with this one. I think this is the best. The only thing I'm not really happy with is how abruptly Z is cropped. Like, I need to add that rounded edge to make it a bit more natural. Yeah, something like this maybe. And then I'm gonna manipulate it somehow. Maybe I would stretch it. Let's start here with breaking rules. Well, not that much. That looks kind of ugly. And that's not my intention today, to make it ugly. It should look nice. Not too nice, but definitely not ugly. So I'm gonna try a couple of more things, what I could do with it. Okay, after a couple of more manipulations, I think I came to this result. Yeah, also applied some liquify to make the edges of each letter a bit more wavy and uneven, as you can see, because I wanted to look like it's handwritten. So my goal was, for example, to make E's, like one E and the second E, to look not exactly identical, because that would look like a font, but I wanted to look more handwritten, so they need to be different. Okay, if this is handwritten, maybe everything else should be handwritten as well. Let me find the right font for it. I still can't find anything better than this one, because I don't know, it's just so clean, but at the same time handwritten, like almost exactly what I was looking for, or maybe exactly. So I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Then I also need to add a bit more texture to lemons to have that airbrush effect. I'm just gonna use a brush. I don't know if that helps. Yeah, just to make it look more like grain effect. But I don't mind that lemons look very flat, because this is the style I was going for. At least you can guess that they are lemons, but I would like them to overlap each other and that it would be visible, kind of like this. And maybe I should try, instead of putting zested at the very top, because that looks very predictable, to be honest. I'm not sure I want it to be so predictable. And this is the frame that I also want to change the color. And because the frame is not that visible, I have another idea. Maybe I would add one more color, like at the very edges. Maybe not necessarily black, or maybe black, who knows. But that goes against my brief and my mood board, to be honest. But if we change the color to something like red, maybe, it looks a lot nicer. Even a little bit vintage, I would say. So let me try changing the layout a bit. Vitamin C, it needs to be readable. I think these two we can separate. Okay, brightens and calms, something like this. I'm not sure what else I should do with it. Maybe the amount of product I would put on this side. Okay, and just to see the whole picture together a bit better, I think I need to expand this file further to see the other two sides and the top and the bottom, and to add all the rest of the text that needs to be on this package. So I'm gonna do that in a similar way how I did in the beginning. I'm just creating a new rectangle. Yeah, and if I decide to print it out, I'll probably convert it to Illustrator, to a vector format, so it'll be more scalable. But for now, I'm happy with Photoshop because I can experiment with all the effects and gradients, grain, all that sort of things. Yeah, it's a bit difficult for me to imagine working without Photoshop. Something like this, and in a similar way to the top and the bottom. Yeah, now as you can see, guys, I decided to switch to a more regular font because I just looked at other skincare packagings and all this important information. I think it has to be in a bit more regular font. It's very, very rare. It needs to be like probably very artsy and creative product to pull it off like this handwritten style, to write an entire packaging in it. So I'm just gonna keep it only for the main side, but the rest of it is gonna be like, I found a really simple sans serif font, not too thin because I don't really like too thin fonts. It's pretty thin and not distracting or anything. And now I think I can allow myself to change the font for the titles of each side to this decorative one, Salt House. So all four sides would be aligned in the same style. And yeah, I think just because they're titles and it's pretty easy to read, like it would be much harder to write an entire paragraph with this font, right? Okay, I allowed myself one more playful thing. When it comes to these boring sides with text, I added some curvy lines just to align with the text, or not the text, with the style of this packaging. I made this line curvy and these two titles and also the text as well. It's still readable. I'm not sure if the actual client would agree to that or not, or is it like too much? But I think overall it looks pretty cohesive and it doesn't distract me too much. So I don't know, do you think it's too much or not? And I left this empty area on purpose because I'm gonna add one more lemon. Again, just to connect these two boring sides to this main side together, because I think they need something in common. So I'm gonna just repeat one more lemon here, something like this. And now it's so contrasting that you can't really tell that it's lemon. You can tell that it's lemon, but at the same time you can kind of think that it's just a random abstract yellow something, some shape. So I'm gonna add a little bit of a shadow on it. Yeah, something like that. And that way I also highlighted this grainy texture. And with that, I think I'm pretty much done. I'm just gonna put it on a mock-up, probably more than one mock-up, to see what it looks like in real environment or in a clean environment, just in 3D, because now I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. I really like this red frame. I think it makes it look a bit more, slightly more retro than I initially intended, because without it, it looks much more clean and modern, which was my initial goal, to make it modern and trendy and everything. But I just added that slight like sprinkles of retro, like 70s kind of vibe. And I don't think it's bad because it adds some friendliness to it and warmth, because also the color is really, really warm. So I think it works out in this case. Let me guys know what you think. And I'm gonna quickly put all of it on mockups and you will see how it actually works as a packaging. Also, probably I will put a tube next to it. I don't think I'm gonna apply too much design to the tube. And just in a second, here it is. So here's the final result. As you can see, it works out on a box as well. It's pretty different to most skincare brands that you would normally find, and this has to do with the brand mission and target audience. I guess it's for very young people and brave, I don't know, but now I can see those less traditional design decisions, mostly in hair care brands, in shampoos. Now I see a lot more experimental stuff. Maybe not for skincare, because people want something a bit more trustworthy and less experimental when it comes to trusting your skin to someone. Probably that makes sense, but I tried to make it not too extra and still make it relatively calm and chill and minimal, but the two main sides are still very, very vibrant. So yeah, I think it's a nice mix. I'm pretty happy with the result. Alright, so this was my full design process for a packaging for a skincare brand. Well, ideally would be to print it out and to assemble this box and to see it in real life, but then this video would come out a bit later and I was just really impatient to release this as soon as possible. I hope you'll forgive me for that. Please let me know if you like the result or not. Would you change something or you wouldn't change, and what you want me to design or redesign next time. Maybe it should be something a lot more utilitarian and corporate. Maybe that would be a challenge, where I'm only allowed to use boring fonts and boring layouts like Times New Roman, I don't know, Arial. It's not boring. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to see more design content, and see you guys next time. Bye!